So earlier in the module I mentioned Marma points, and Marma massage is another way of improving your Agni or your digestive fire. So Ayurveda, like traditional Chinese medicine and shiatsu and reflexology, has certain pressure points that relate to certain aspects of the body, and they're called Marma points. They're often connective points between muscle or nerve or bone or tissue, and they tend to be quite sensitive, so they're relatively easy to find. There are certain ones in the body that relate specifically to digestion, and the two most important ones are Indravasti and Nabi. So Indravasti is found in the center of the forearm muscle and also the calf muscle. So there's a little divot, so the calf muscle kind of goes like this, and sort of in the middle of that muscle there will be a sensitive spot. And same with the arm. You'll sort of, if you run your thumb down the forearm, you'll find like a little depression round about the center of the forearm that when you just gently rub it in a little circle with your thumb, feels a bit sensitive. Now Nabi is found, move this down, Nabi is found where the belly button is basically, so that one's really easy to find. And there are certain yoga poses that of course activate these Marma points. So one of the ones that is incredibly good for digestion that activates Nabi, aside from a lot of different pranayamas, is Mayurasana or peacock pose, where you're actually putting your elbows right into your belly, putting all of the weight on your elbows and then rising up, lifting up the legs. So that's an amazing pose for digestion. But another one that you really notice is, it's called flame pose in shadow yoga, but it's when you're crossing the arms over like this. This activates not only Indravasti but also a few other points. There's Kupara in the elbows that relate to the liver and the spleen. There's Ani and Urvi, which relate to fat metabolism and water metabolism. So when you hold that pose, you're usually doing it with your legs at the same time, going down like this, flame pose, and you get really, really hot when you're doing it. And that's partly because you're activating all of those metabolism points. So that's really cool. So if you want to give yourself a Marma massage, I would just concentrate on Indravasti, because that relates specifically to the central digestive fire, and it's something you can do, you know, if you're sitting at the doctor's office or sitting on the bus or the train commuting home from work, or you're in the back of the car. You can just, you know, give it a little massage for a few minutes until it's no longer sensitive. You can do the same with your calves. So there we go, there's the Marma points. If you are a yoga student, you might find it interesting to look into this in a bit more detail, or to ask your yoga teacher about it. And there are some very in-depth books on the Marma points, and I will have them in the reading list at the end of the program, so you can look into it in more detail if you wish.